You've been taught to see pain as the enemy, something to avoid, eliminate, medicate, escape, run from. Your entire life has been organized around minimizing pain and maximizing comfort, and that teaching has made you weaker, more vulnerable, less capable, because you've been lied to about what pain actually is. Here's Machiavelli's truth. Pain isn't your enemy. Pain is information. Pain is education. Pain is the most ruthless and reliable teacher you'll ever have. And the people who achieve mastery over themselves and their circumstances aren't the ones who avoided pain. They're the ones who learned to read it. He understood something most people never grasp. Il dolore come maestro. Pain as teacher. Not metaphorically, literally. Pain teaches you things comfort never can, reveals truths pleasure obscures, builds capacities ease never develops. The harsh reality is, your suffering isn't the problem. Your relationship with suffering is the problem. You're fighting the one thing trying to educate you. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to completely reconstruct how you see pain, why you've misunderstood it, what it actually is, and how to use it instead of being destroyed by it. Because mastery doesn't come from avoiding pain, it comes from learning what pain is trying to teach you. Let me show you Machiavelli's truth. Here's the truth in its most brutal form. Pain is not punishment. Pain is not failure. Pain is not something wrong with you or your life. Pain is diagnostic information about reality that your nervous system is delivering in the only language guaranteed to get your attention. And Machiavelli understood. Most people spend their entire lives running from the most valuable information they'll ever receive, because it hurts to receive it. Let me break down what pain actually is, not what you've been taught it is, what Machiavelli observed it to be. Pain is reality asserting itself. The first truth. Pain is what happens when your beliefs, expectations, or behaviors collide with reality. And reality wins. It always wins. You believe someone would stay. Reality. They left. Pain is the collision between belief and reality. You expected fairness. Reality. Unfairness happened. Pain is the gap between expectation and actuality. You behaved as if you were invincible. Reality. You're vulnerable. Pain is the correction. Machiavelli called this dolore cum correzione. Pain as correction. Reality is constantly trying to teach you what's true. When you refuse to learn through observation and adaptation, reality teaches through pain. Harder, louder, until you learn. The people who suffer most aren't the people reality is punishing. They're the people reality has to correct most forcefully, because they refuse to learn the gentle lessons. So reality sends harder ones. Think about your deepest pains, the relationship that devastated you, the betrayal that broke you, the failure that crushed you. In every case, reality was trying to teach you something, and you were resisting learning it. Maybe reality was teaching. This person isn't safe, but you wanted them to be safe. So you ignored the information until reality had to deliver the lesson through devastating pain. Maybe reality was teaching. This path isn't working, but you wanted it to work. So you persisted until reality made continuation impossible through collapse. That's not punishment. That's education. Brutal education, but education nonetheless. Pain reveals what comfort obscures. The second truth. Pain strips away illusions. It forces you to see what you've been avoiding seeing. What you've been pretending isn't true. What comfort allowed you to ignore. When life is comfortable, you can maintain delusions. You can pretend weak relationships are strong, Pretend bad situations are tolerable. Pretend you're fine when you're not. Comfort enables self-deception. Pain destroys that capacity. When you're in pain, pretending stops working. Illusions shatter. You see things as they actually are, not as you wish they were. Machiavelli understood. Dolore cum revelatore. Pain as revealer. The person who has suffered deeply gains what the comfortable rarely achieve: clear sight. Because suffering burned away the comforting lies. Real talk. Every major growth period in my life came after major pain. Not during comfort. During pain. Because pain forced me to see truths I'd been avoiding. About myself. About others. About how reality actually works. The comfortable version of me maintained delusions. People are generally good. Try hard and you'll succeed. Be kind and others will be kind back. Pleasant beliefs, mostly false. The suffering version of me saw clearly. People are self-interested. Results require strategy, not just effort. Kindness without boundaries is exploited. Harsh truths, actually accurate. That clear sight, that ability to see reality as it is rather than as I wish it were, came from pain, not from comfort. Comfort let me stay delusional. Pain forced clarity. Pain measures your capacity for self-command. The third truth: pain reveals whether you can rule yourself, whether you have command over your own nature, or whether your nature controls you. Everyone can maintain composure, discipline, and strategic thinking when life is comfortable. That requires no mastery. Comfort makes self-control easy. Pain tests whether you can maintain those things when your nervous system is screaming, when emotions are overwhelming, when every instinct says to collapse, rage, or flee. Machiavelli observed, Il dolore cum misura, pain as measurement. It measures your actual capacity for self-governance, not your theoretical capacity, your real capacity under pressure. Can you think clearly when you're suffering? That's the test of whether you actually control your mind or it controls you. Can you act strategically when you're hurt? That's the test of whether you govern your behavior or your emotions govern it. Can you maintain boundaries when you're in pain? That's the test of whether you command yourself or circumstances command you. Most people discover under pain that they don't actually govern themselves. They're governed by their feelings, their impulses, their need for immediate relief. Pain reveals that. But here's what Machiavelli understood. That revelation isn't failure, it's information. Now you know. You don't have self-command yet. Now you can build it. But you can only build what you know you lack. Pain showed you what you lack. Pain is the price of education. The fourth truth: everything valuable you learn about reality, human nature, and yourself comes at the cost of pain. There's no way to gain deep understanding without paying and suffering. You want to understand human nature? You need to be betrayed, used, abandoned. That's not optional tuition. That's required tuition, paid in pain. You want to understand your own weaknesses? You need to fail, collapse, get crushed by circumstances. Pain reveals weaknesses. Comfort lets you ignore. You want to understand how power actually works? You need to be powerless. Experience what it feels like to have no control, to be at mercy of others. Pain teaches power dynamics better than any book. Machiavelli called this educazione attraverso sofferenza, education through suffering. And he understood. The people with the deepest wisdom about reality are the people who paid the highest tuition in pain. Not because suffering makes you wise automatically, because suffering forces you to either learn or be destroyed. And if you choose learning, pain becomes the most expensive and most valuable education available. The comfortable person has theoretical knowledge. Read about betrayal, heard about failure, studied human nature. The person who suffered has embodied knowledge, felt betrayal in their bones, experienced failure viscerally, understands human nature through direct, painful contact. Theoretical knowledge is cheap. Embodied knowledge is expensive, paid for in pain, and infinitely more valuable. Why this truth matters. Here's why understanding pain this way changes everything. Most people relate to pain as enemy. Fight it. Resist it. Try to eliminate it as quickly as possible. That relationship with pain makes you learn nothing from it. You're too busy fighting to learn. Too busy escaping to extract the lesson. Too busy medicating to receive the information. So pain has to keep coming back, louder, harder, because you're not learning. The lesson keeps repeating until you learn it. But when you understand pain as information, as education, as measurement, as revelation, your relationship changes. You stop fighting it. Start reading it. What is this pain teaching me about reality I've been refusing to see? What illusion is this pain burning away? What weakness is this pain revealing that I need to strengthen? What lesson am I being forced to learn because I refuse to learn it gently? That relationship with pain turned suffering into education. You still hurt, but now you're learning from the hurt, which means it doesn't have to repeat. You got the lesson. Pain can move on. Machiavelli understood. Sofferenza come alleato. Suffering as ally, not enemy. The thing trying to teach you what you need to know to survive reality. Brutal teacher. Ruthless educator. But on your side, if you're trying to teach someone reality and they refuse to listen, eventually you have to hurt them so they learn. Reality does the same to you, not because it hates you, because you refused the gentle lessons. So it sent the painful ones. So if pain is such a valuable teacher, why do we resist its lessons so fiercely? Why do we fight the education we most need? 4 reasons, and understanding them is how you stop repeating painful lessons. Reason 1. We mistake pain for failure. The first reason, you've been taught that pain means you failed. That if you were doing life correctly, you wouldn't hurt. So pain feels like evidence of inadequacy. The teaching is completely backwards. Pain isn't evidence you're doing life wrong. Pain is evidence you're encountering reality. And reality is inherently painful sometimes, not because you failed, because reality includes loss, betrayal, limits, and change. Machiavelli would say, La vita include dolore. Life includes pain. Not as bug, as feature. You can't have growth without discomfort. Can't have adaptation without stress. Can't have strength without resistance. Pain is built into the process of becoming capable. The people who never experience pain aren't the people doing life right. They're the people avoiding life, staying in comfort zones, never risking, never growing, never testing themselves against reality. Pain doesn't mean you're failing. Pain means you're engaging with reality. And reality bites. That's not failure. That's participation. Reason 2. We believe pain should be avoidable. The second reason, you believe that if you just make the right choices, you can avoid pain entirely. So when pain happens, it feels like you made wrong choices, which makes you feel incompetent. But Machiavelli understood. Inevitabilità del dolore. Pain's inevitability. Some pain is avoidable through wisdom, but some pain is simply the cost of being alive, of loving, of trying. of caring about anything. You can't love without becoming vulnerable to loss. Can't try without becoming vulnerable to failure. Can't care without becoming vulnerable to disappointment. The people trying to avoid all pain aren't wise. They're imprisoned by fear. They can't love deeply because loss would hurt. Can't try boldly because failure would hurt. Can't care fully because disappointment would hurt. They've traded aliveness for pain avoidance. That's not winning. That's existing in a cage you built to feel safe. Real talk. Some of your deepest pain was unavoidable. Not because you made mistakes. Because you engaged with life. Loved someone who left. Tried something that failed. Cared about something that didn't work out. That pain isn't evidence of poor choices. It's evidence of full participation in life. And full participation includes pain. Always has. Always will. Reason 3. We resist the truth. Pain reveals the third reason. Pain often teaches you things you don't want to know. About yourself. About others. About reality. And you resist knowing those things. So you resist the pain trying to teach them. Maybe pain is teaching. You're not as strong as you thought. You don't want to know that. So you resist the lesson. Maybe pain is teaching. This person doesn't love you the way you love them. You don't want to know that. So you avoid the information. Maybe pain is teaching. This path you're on isn't going to work. You don't want to accept that. So you fight the feedback. Machiavelli called this resistenza alla verità, resistance to truth. And he observed, we create our own suffering not from pain itself, but from our resistance to what pain is trying to teach us. The pain of losing someone teaches you about impermanence. If you resist learning impermanence, the pain intensifies. Because you're fighting reality. The pain of failure teaches you about your limits. If you resist acknowledging limits, the pain persists, because you haven't learned the lesson yet. The pain of betrayal teaches you about human nature. If you resist understanding human nature, the pain repeats, because you keep being surprised by predictable behavior. Pause here. Go to comments. What lesson has pain been trying to teach you that you've been resisting? Don't need to explain. Just name it. Impermanence. My limits. Human nature. Naming it is first step to learning it. Reason 4. We don't know how to use pain. The fourth reason. No one taught you how to extract lessons from pain. You know how to suffer, but you don't know how to learn from suffering. So you experience pain. It hurts. Eventually it fades. And you learned nothing. Just survived it. Then similar pain happens again. Because you didn't extract the lesson the first time. Machiavelli understood. Dolore senza apprendimento. Pain without learning is wasted suffering. You paid the tuition, but didn't attend the class. So you have to pay again. Most people suffer the same lessons repeatedly. Same type of relationship pain. Same type of failure. Same type of betrayal. Not because they're cursed, because they're not extracting the lessons from their pain. They just feel it. Survive it. Move on. Then repeat the pattern that created the pain, because they never learned what created it, or how to avoid repeating it. That's wasted education. You suffered for nothing. The pain didn't make you wiser, didn't make you stronger, just made you hurt temporarily. The correction: learn to read pain. What is this pain teaching me? What pattern created it? What do I need to change to not repeat this? What truth am I being forced to see? Those questions turn suffering into education. Same pain, but now you're extracting value from it. Now the pain serves a purpose, teaches you something, changes you in ways that prevent repetition. Those are the 4 reasons we resist pain's lessons. We mistake it for failure, believe it should be avoidable, resist the truths it reveals, don't know how to extract lessons from it. Eliminate these 4, and pain becomes your teacher instead of your enemy. Same suffering, different relationship, different outcome. Now let me show you exactly how to learn from pain. So how do you actually use pain as teacher instead of being destroyed by it? How do you extract the education pain is trying to give you? Machiavelli's framework, apprendimento attraverso dolore, learning through pain. 4 questions to ask when you're suffering. These questions turn pain into education. Question 1. What belief is reality correcting? When you're in pain, first question. What belief or expectation just collided with reality? I believed this person would be loyal. Reality corrected that. I expected fairness. Reality corrected that. I thought I was invincible. Reality corrected that. Pain is the correction. The gap between what you believed and what's actually true. Identifying the belief reality is correcting shows you what you need to update about your understanding of how reality works. That's correzione cognitiva, cognitive correction. Pain is reality's way of debugging your mental model. Pay attention to what's being corrected. That's the lesson. Question 2. What illusion is this pain burning away? Second question. What have I been pretending about this situation, person, or myself that this pain is forcing me to see clearly? I was pretending this relationship was healthy. Pain revealed it isn't. I was pretending I didn't need to change. Pain revealed I do. I was pretending I was fine. Pain revealed I'm not. Pain destroys comfortable delusions. What delusion is being destroyed? That's what you needed to see but were avoiding. Now you can see it. That's the revelation pain provided. Question 3. What weakness is this pain revealing? Third question. What capacity do I lack that this pain is exposing? I lack boundaries. That's why this person could hurt me this deeply. I lack discernment. That's why I trusted someone untrustworthy. I lack emotional regulation. That's why this pain is destroying me. Pain reveals gaps in your capabilities. What gap is being revealed? Now you know what to build. That's the developmental direction pain is pointing you toward. Question 4. What pattern created this pain? Fourth question. What pattern of behavior or choice led to this outcome? What did I do or not do that created conditions for this pain? Not for self-blame, for pattern recognition. If you can identify the pattern that led to pain, you can change the why pattern and avoid repetition. I invested prematurely without verification. That pattern created this pain. I ignored red flags because I wanted connection. That pattern created this pain. I avoided difficult conversations until crisis. That pattern created this pain. Identifying the pattern shows you what to change. That's how pain becomes teacher instead of just suffering. Real talk. When I started asking these 4 questions during painful periods, everything changed. Same pain. But now I was learning from it, extracting lessons, changing patterns, building capacities. Pain stopped feeling like random punishment, started feeling like brutal but valuable feedback. Okay, reality is teaching me something. What is it? That relationship with pain doesn't eliminate suffering, but it makes suffering meaningful. You're not just hurting, you're learning, growing, becoming more capable through the pain. That's Machiavellian wisdom. Use everything, even pain, especially pain, because pain teaches what nothing else can. Here's Machiavelli's truth about pain. It's not your enemy. It's information, education, revelation, measurement. The most ruthless and reliable teacher you'll ever have. Pain teaches you what reality is actually like, strips away illusions, reveals your weaknesses, shows you patterns you need to change, but only if you learn to read it instead of just fighting it. So here's what you do, starting with whatever pain you're experiencing right now. Stop fighting it. Stop trying to eliminate it immediately. Instead, read it. Ask the 4 questions. What belief is reality correcting through this pain? What illusion is being burned away? What weakness is being revealed? What pattern created this? Those 4 questions extract the lesson. Turn suffering into education. Make the pain meaningful instead of just destructive. You're going to experience pain regardless. That's not optional. Life includes pain, unavoidably. But you can choose whether that pain teaches you something or just hurts you, whether it makes you wiser or just makes you suffer. Machiavelli understood. The people who master themselves and their circumstances aren't the ones who avoided pain. They're the ones who learned to read it. Web. Same pain, different relationship, different outcome. Apply the 4 questions. Extract the lessons. And let pain make you wiser instead of just wounded. You'll never see pain the same way again.